start because I really want to know, after all the talking we've been doing about the show, what is it like to actually see it in performance now?
I have to tell you that I'm absolutely thrilled. I can't get the smile off my face. So much effort went into refurbishing this theater, and now we have this powerhouse show in here with a powerhouse cast. It is fantastic. I'm almost lost for words. I'm so happy.
Michael?
I couldn't be more proud of the cast and the crew and the production team who made this show. It's really rare that you have a chance to develop a show and you see it come and you think, wow, it looks so beautiful in the pictures, but it never really turns out that way. And this is one of those rare exceptions where I think it not only turned out that way, but even better than we imagined.
What are the words that you would use emotionally for your reaction to seeing Jeff Lange?
Thrilled. Thrilled beyond words. I think I can't remember being this excited about the opening of a show for a very long time. And I've opened a lot of shows in my time, I can tell you.
Michael?
Just super excited. I'm just kind of blown away and a little bit emotional.
Me too. Let's have some questions from our mediator. Who has a question? Yes.
Hi, I'm Steve Zoll with Beverly Hills Publishing. What is the length of time that it takes for you to develop a new idea to put a show like this together? Is it 6 months or a year, or is it longer or shorter time?
Well, every show is a little bit unique, obviously. This particular show we've been developing for almost 2 years, in fact. From the time we brought the team on and created the idea to the time we started rehearsal about 5-6 weeks ago to tonight.
And it varies a little bit, of course, on the size and the complexity of the show too. So if we talk about a show like World of Color, that might be 3 or 4 years in the making. A stage show typically 18, 20 months, sometimes 24 months. Sometimes if we go back to the drawing board, it takes a little bit longer.
Hello? Hi, I'm Jules Buick from the City Newspaper Group at thebelly.com. I'm wondering why bring this theater back? I don't even know why it was closed, but why reopen it at this time?
Well, I'll speak to that. I think, for one thing, the theater was housing the Princess Fantasy Fair, and now that we have this great opportunity with beautiful fantasy fair to give the princesses a home and allow them to bring the show back to the theater and here. Disneyland's the jewel in the crown park, and entertainment is the cornerstone of everything we do, so it's really wonderful to be able to bring back a live entertainment experience to this particular park, and it's something I think has a lot of resonance for our guests.
The other thing I like about having this venue back up and running is that the dynamic of the show carries out into the park, and it's infectious. And I think that's what part of your experience at Disneyland and the Disney parks is all about. It's about the energy and about live entertainment experiences and about storytelling. So for me, to have another place where we can tell stories from, it's it can only be a good thing.
Sarah?
Sarah Tully, Orange County Register. I have 2 questions, unrelated. One is about the balloons, those bubbles. I want to hear about those and what those are. And the second thing is, at the end, you kind of tie it into the classic Walt Disney quote about Disneyland will never be finished. Are there any elements of the map that are part of original drawings or concepts?
Both great questions. Sylvia Hasse and Steve Bass, who are our creative director and our production designer, really wanted something special for the end of the sea number, and we really challenged them to find something unique and innovative and playful and fun, and the idea for the bubbles came from that. It was an extraordinary trick, I think, to see those performers inside of those big bubbles in just a way that you wouldn't expect. The map is Steve Bass's original design, along with Marty Brinkerhoff, our projection design, video designer, and together they kind of created literally magic in my mind, and they hint at lands and areas and stories that we don't see in the show, and really remind you that truly there is, a world of imagination out there.
And they had to work very hard on me to convince me that this huge LED screen would deliver the magic that we hoped it would. And I will tell you, I'm completely blown away by the magic that the screen brings to the show.
Joseph. Sorry, go ahead.
Joseph Pereira, Opinion. I was wondering, you have hundreds of movies and thousands of songs to choose from, so why these ones for the show?
Well, again, it's a very artful thing in terms of how do we want to create the story, what elements do we want to express in that, but we also have to consider the mix of the other entertainment opportunities because Disneyland is so rich with other experiences throughout the park, the parade, World of Color, over California Adventure, Latin. So we tried to find opportunities that would resonate with both classic and contemporary characters. And a lot of it was about the choice of music and how the music elevated either the dance style or the number, but it all boils down to the heart of the story. And I think those characters and those worlds really help articulate that story for us.
Hi, Scott Stapleton from the Santa Barbara Express. Did you have a show before the venue, or did the venue open and you put a show into a venue, and how did that drive it, if at all?
That's a great question, actually. The venue was here, and we knew that we wanted to bring a show to the venue. It's a challenging venue because it's an open-air space. We don't have control over sound or lighting. There's a train that goes by, people in the park. So rather than try to hide that or ignore that, the creative team really embraced it. It was one of the mandates when we started development that we really wanted to create a show that would live in this venue and hopefully would resonate in that. And I think, hopefully they've been very successful in doing that.
Changing, or is it the same performance in every time slot throughout the night?
It is consistent, all the performances. I mean, the performers do it every 2 May, and every performance is slightly unique, but the shows.
Hi, I'm Brandon McDonald with the LA Times. I was wondering how you guys chose to sort of, since it's a live show, to balance sort of the recorded material with the live material, sort of the video and demand versus sort of the performers, and how you balance that visually, and also same sort of thing with the music, the recorded music versus the live singing, and if you can speak to sort of the balance there.
I think that, the bottom line is a lot of rehearsal, a lot of trial and error, a lot of experimentation, because we always try to create something unique and something new with every experience that we create. And so we try to find new tools to do that with all the time. And so sometimes the experiments don't work as well as we thought they might when they were on the drawing board. Sometimes, in the case of making a magical map, I think it exceeded everybody's expectation. And it is a very, very fine balancing act between audio, between lighting, between the images on the stage, and how the performers, with choreography and with the vocals, how it all links together takes hours and hours and hours of lessons.
I would say again, I really want to give credit to the incredible creative team who devised the show, because for them it was very important to be able to transport an audience magically into all of these different worlds, and the conceit of what the video and the production could do to allow for that, and that storytelling was really important to them. And the most important thing I think was trying to find that quality of Mickey that we love, that sort of, mischievous little guy who can do only what animation can do, squash and stretch and play with paint in a really magical way. And that allowed that in a unique way that I think, again, was a real value to the show.
We have 2 questions side by side over here, and let's wrap up with those.
Norman Gidney, NiceChat.com. The way that the show is built, it's a wonderful dynamic show. It seems as if it could also evolve, and new numbers could pop in and out. Is that something that is perhaps planned for the future?
Well, it's something we certainly thought about in developing it. We wanted the show to be relevant and resonate with an audience, and we know that our company creates wonderful stories, and we wanted to think about how to include those for the future, how to embrace those audiences, and how to stay true and relevant to this particular park.
I will say though that I think my feeling about the show is that it will be here for a very long time. And it is, I think it's going to be very adaptable as well in terms of being able to move along with say new movies and characters that come out. I think we do have opportunity there maybe down the road, but my feeling is that this could be one of those timeless shows that the guests just keep coming back over and over and over again to see this.
Brian?
Brian Seltzer, IPA News. You answered kind of one of the questions there, how long you expect it to run, because we really believe you've got a hit. And then the other part, though, is that it's opening up here. What are the chances of having it spread to the other facilities?
It's funny you should say that, because at the moment this show is unique to Disneyland, the Disneyland Resort. But unbeknownst to you, the entire leadership of the global entertainment team was sitting at the back watching it, and I saw a lot of them jumping up and down and clapping, and so I'm sure they'll all be calling me saying, we've got to have that show. So we'll see, but right now and for the near future, it is going to remain here and be unique to the Disneyland Resort.
I think the great thing about the show, and Mickey says it at the end, the journey's just begun.
And final question, Libby.
Design magazine. It was nice to see Pocahontas back on the stage. And I was just wondering if you could summarize the refurbishments of the theater. It's like a list, because that could be a very long question.
Yeah, the refurbishment was extensive, from the auditorium, the seating in the auditorium, and the rake of the auditorium, through to access for everybody into the theater, whether you have to be in a wheelchair or have other needs. This theater is fully equipped so that you can access it and have somewhere to sit and get a really good view of the show. To the stage house, in terms of strengthening the roof of the stage to be able to carry the lighting rig and the audio rig, and of course through to the stage to carry that enormous piece of scenery back there, which does such a lot of work in the show. So truly extensive renovation, as I said, and I can't thank the resort leadership executives enough for being willing to invest that much time and energy into creating this wonderful space for us.
All right, thank you all for joining us. There is a party going on, and if you'll exit that way and keep to your right, Fantasyland belongs to you this evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.